everyone, it's Sevy and I'm here with an update video just about how things have been going behind the scenes and explaining the current pace that the channel has been going at, plus maybe some of what to expect in the future. No, I'm not quitting. We can just throw that out there. You don't have to worry about that. But I just wanted to share some stuff, updates, as I said, and then maybe like leveling some expectations as well. I do have my notes in front of me here, so if I'm not looking at my camera, I'm just trying to refer back to these so I get everything down in one go as much as possible. So let's just get into it. So the first point that I want to talk about is that you may have noticed that my content on the main channel has slowed down recently. Recently being like maybe the last few months or so. So before maybe last year or prior, I would be uploading several times a week, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. Now I usually only do once a week, depending on content and character releases. I really just focus on guides now. I don't really do like banner reviews anymore or discuss news or updates that much outside of the new characters. There's a lot of other stuff to talk about just outside of new characters, but it's really just the character guides I've been focusing on because I feel like that's the bread and butter of this channel. Now, this pace may change when Natla comes out because when Fontaine came out, there was a bunch of new mechanics and equipment that we had to get familiar with, and as a guide channel, I did want to cover those and help people going into Fontaine. So I am anticipating that something similar is going to happen for Natlan, and I am going to prepare to cover those mechanics alongside the new characters that will be coming out, and of course there will be a lot. Why has my publishing slowed down? Why am I not as prolific as before? So I think the baseline is that making content is a grind, and I did grind and I just can't sustain it as much as I did before. I'm currently on year 3 of this Sevyplays channel, and it was just like a lot of grinding to get to. Sorry, Theo was doing some bunstruction and making some noisy bunstruction. It was a lot of grinding to get to where the channel is now, and I'm really happy with where it is at this point. But simply put, from those years and time, I got quite tired slash burnt out, I guess. And I really admire and give a huge kudos to those who can keep up that kind of grind and pace for even longer, because oh my gosh, it's not only is it an achievement, it is determination, it's a test of willpower and all that. Myself, I have reached the point where I do feel that bit of burnout and some exhaustion with the pace I was at, but I don't want to stop. So basically, I just tried to slow down, make it more sustainable for myself. Despite that, though, I still really like making content, of course. And since I want to have a future in content creation outside of and after Genshin, like for a while, especially in the past months, year, I was considering what niches or areas I could diversify to in order to open that door. It's been a whole back and forth. Some ideas or thoughts that came out, they might never see the light of day, to be honest, just because they're half-baked or it's just not a sustainable idea. Some ideas I had are waiting for like circumstances to align before I can really have like a true go at it. So one thing that I have settled on trying is the cozy channel, where I try to cover and make content on cozy games because I really like cozy games. I'm finding it really fun getting into a gaming niche that isn't like a live service gacha game. It's just that since I am trying to do that while also trying to maintain the main channel, that of course means I am splitting time between both channels, which means that growth and output is a bit slow for both. In between guide content I'm working on for the main channel, I'm working on stuff for the cozy channel, whether that's working on videos or playing cozy games on YouTube Live there. But of course the main channel is still my priority. So in times when like banners are really coming out, the characters are they need more attention and time to really cover them properly, that's where my priorities are at. And I know at least that I can pause whatever I'm doing on the cozy channel in order to maintain and give the main channel the attention it requires. That being said, the cozy channel is probably not going to be my last content endeavor, but at this point I do realize that if I were to start more projects or more continuous lines of content, it is going to come at the cost of some of my current endeavors. And that's a big reason, probably the main reason, why I'm not making Wuthering Waves or ZZZ guides. And though they would go on the main channel, and technically time spent on those would be time spent on the main channel, it's not like I would be starting a new channel or anything, I'm just quite sure that starting those, like WuWa and ZZZ, would take away from the attention I can give to the current line of Genshin and Star Rail guides that I'm already trying to maintain. And really, one of my biggest fears in starting WuWa or ZZZ guides is that I jump on the train to make guides for like the first 5 characters, and then new viewers and players come and find me, and then I get burnt out because I realize I can't keep up those guides anymore, and then those viewers who found me get rightfully disappointed because I'm not able to make the content they came for, and then they leave. So basically, I don't want to build up an expectation just to disappoint and leave viewers hanging, you know? It's still very much within the realm of possibility that you'll see me playing ZZZ, WuWa, whether on stream or in single one-off videos, like very casually, just because it's something that I want to enjoy. Or if I like find a topic about it that I really want to discuss, for example, because I do think both games are cool, and I do think that I can still enjoy them in my own time and in my own way outside of trying to make guides for them. But when it does come down to guide making and continuity, I still think that I made the right decision for my own health to stick to Genshin and Star Rail for the time being. So while we are on the topic of content, these are kind of FAQs that I've been getting and I'm trying to answer now. I know that I have been getting a lot of questions. Am I going to make WuWa, ZZZ content? So I think I've addressed that. Another one is Sevy Talks coming back? So Sevy Talks is a podcast that I started last year. I did 10 episodes of it where I was discussing Genshin topics and very often bringing on guests to interview, discuss topics with, and it was very, very fun. I enjoyed it a lot, and I was really happy that a lot of you also enjoyed it. And after finishing 10 episodes of that, I decided to take a hiatus on it because, well, one, I thought 10 was a good number to end on. We reached 10, and at that point, I was like, all right, maybe put it on the back burner for now, and that's where it's currently at. So, I mean, again, I really enjoyed it. The sessions were really fun. The people I talked to were really cool. But I also had like a hard time sustaining it due to like scheduling and time zones, and then I also had other interests that I wanted to explore, such as like cozy gaming. And this also might sound silly, and it's totally, totally my fault. I did all of the interviews virtually instead of in person due to geography, location, time zones. And I think you can understand also that social interactions feel very different and significantly more organic when they're done in person. And I wasn't able to do that for the episodes, which also kind of um, made it a different vibe than what I was personally hoping for on my end. I do hope that, the episodes that were produced, they were still very enjoyable on the viewer end, but that's kind of how it was like on my end. And again, this is like all on me because I should have like considered all of that going in and figured out and felt out how that would be. But those are all reasons also why I haven't picked Sevy Talks up back again. So that being said, if I do bring back Sevy Talks, it might take on some format changes. It might appear in a different like form, And I might also wait for some circumstances to align again to make that new form more sustainable for me, and easier to, go through and develop and really maintain. So I know that that Sevy Talks is there. I started it and I can always return to it when, again, circumstances align or when I really, really want to. And I am grateful to everyone who tuned in because I really didn't expect it to have such a positive reception. And I didn't expect either to have so much fun talking to all those guests as well. And yeah, I'm just really grateful for how it turned out. Another question I get kind of often is, why do I stream on YouTube sometimes? I thought you streamed only on Twitch. I do stream on Twitch. I stream on twitch.tv/sevy_plays. But I decided to try streaming on YouTube some time ago because I was curious about connecting more with you guys, my YouTube audience. And I mainly started by streaming story quests like Archon quests and then like character story quests and even Trailblaze quests. Because even if I'm not a lore tuber or anything, I really do enjoy those quests. I do enjoy like the characters' stories and going through them. And I wanted to share that experience with more people. And there are a lot of you here, right? And I think also that YouTube is a better platform for VOD watching than Twitch is. Like, I do like Twitch's live experience, and a lot of people do admit that YouTube has some ways to go in terms of their live streaming experience. But when it comes to back watching videos on demand, actually, I do still favor YouTube in that regard. So that being said, like, I still consider Twitch where I will stream if I just have time to chill, play, chat. I mean, I started my Twitch channel the same time as this channel. So my community on Twitch is also over 3 years old, and I've grown to love and appreciate it so much as I appreciate you guys, my YouTube audience. And I know you're not entirely separate sets of people. It's just that I recognize that like Twitch culture is different from YouTube culture, viewership can also be different because you've grown on different platforms and things like that. So basically, just to cut it down, where am I going to be streaming? What can you find me streaming and which platform? I do still stream on Twitch and consider it my go-to streaming platform, where I want to chill, do casual stuff. I will still share big quests like Archon, Major Trailblaze quests over here on YouTube. I also did Imaginarium Theater recently since it started coming out. In addition, I am interested in still connecting with you more here on YouTube through occasional casual streams. So maybe there isn't a new Archon quest or story quest or Imaginarium Theater to do, but maybe from time to time you will see me just like going live, just hanging out, chilling. And that's really what I want to do with you guys when I stream, honestly, is just to hang out. But of course, if there's like a big event that we like, big content event that we want to get through, then I'll get through that like a quest. That can occasionally happen. You're more likely to find casual streams, or you're more likely to find me casually streaming and just like, I don't know, doing my dailies or weeklies over on Twitch, right? But then also, if you aren't a Twitch viewer, but you're curious about what I do on there, I just have a VOD channel where I upload like segments of my Twitch streams or even full bits of my Twitch streams from time to time, in case you do want to backwatch that. Because again, I do think YouTube is a better place for watching VODs. So I hope that that kind of cleared up the content FAQs I've been getting. And I think that the last main point that I want to refer to as to why my channel has kind of slowed down is because I've also just been finding more hobbies and activities outside of work, and I've been trying to improve my work-life balance, because for like the previous 2-3 years I didn't have that because again, I was spending like all my time growing the channel. Last year I kind of had a wake-up call, and this was around the time of Farina's release, which I think was November, and that month was really busy. My editor and I were working round the clock to cover the Genshin content during that time, and Farina was like such a big had such a big impact on like the meta, I would say. But also around that time I got COVID, and that was a period of time that I couldn't work for maybe like 1 or 2 weeks. And at the point I was recovering kind of slowly, and I realized I had gotten like kind of sluggish. Like, I didn't feel as healthy or as energetic as I was before, and my mental and physical health kind of took a nosedive. And again, that was like around November, so late last year. And since then, I kind of just started working on my life outside of work, just trying to, get my life back together and try to feel a bit less like a grinding content machine. So for physical health in that regard, you may have noticed that like I've slimmed down or lost weight or whatever. And I've seen comments, some complimenting, some showing concern, whether it's like a healthy kind of weight loss. And it is because I started going to the gym around December onwards, and I did try to start eating healthier. So yes, it is a healthy type, don't worry. I didn't like lose weight unintentionally. And I'm really happy with my progress of it so far, and I do intend to keep it up. So that's kind of like how I've been trying to work on my physical health. In regards to my emotional and mental health, I started playing more games outside of Hoyo games. And actually, the game that I've sunk the most hours into at this point in the recent year after Hoyo games is Civ 6. So for a few months straight, I was playing Civ 6 whenever I wasn't working. And like, I'm not a pro at it by any means, but the point is just that I just started putting more time into other games. And I also recently picked up Magic the Gathering. I play with close friends and some family, and recently started trying like my local game shops to see what communities there have got going and if it's something that I can like really get into and socialize with people more through there. And I also started seeing friends more. And between 2021 and 2020 and 2023, I feel like I barely had a social life due to lockdown. And like, of course, so many people experienced this. And lockdown did happen while I was like in the middle of college. So I feel like I would have had such a social life then, but then obviously I couldn't, right? So I feel like now that restrictions are a lot looser than they were before, I feel like I'm trying to make up for that lost time, really trying to go out and see friends, see family more often, and just spend more time outside among other people. So, those are kind of like the personal developments and life behind the scenes that's been going on, where I'm just trying to find or improve my work life balance overall. And the thing is, I definitely recognize that being able to do all these things in my own time due to having flexible hours is such a privilege, and it's really a privilege that I've gotten to this point where I feel secure enough with my channel to slow down that grind for the meantime, and it's just all thanks to you. And every time I remember how lucky I am to be here in the first place, I'm just so grateful. Of course, like any job, content creation does have its ups and downs, and I just really wanted to share with you my current disposition and kind of where I'm at mentally. I don't usually do this, and I've become more and more of a private person online because, like, with how volatile and drama prone the internet can be sometimes, I've kind of found myself wanting to avoid it more. But I still have to balance being active enough because it is a part of my job to have social media presence. But I also don't really make community posts that much because I also don't want to burden you with my own mental struggles and would just prefer you to enjoy the games or the content or the guides that I'm making. And, my life is my own. I suppose that I did want to make this now because I feel like it's a bit overdue and it allows me to tackle several topics at once in a more personal, expounded way. And I think that even if I were to turn this into a community post or even several community posts, I think many just won't see it due to the YouTube algorithm. So, hi, YouTube algorithm, you can have a video instead. And hopefully that answers a bunch of questions that maybe you've wondered about my channel or just noticed some patterns on my channel or whatever. Or if you've watched until this point, thank you so much for listening. I'm glad that I was able to talk about this and like get this off my chest in a sense. I also feel sometimes that while I do like to have my private life, I could afford to just share a bit more, especially if it is concerning the consistency or pace of the channel, just to also revisit expectations for you guys. I mean, that's all I have to say at this point. There's some busy months ahead of us with the big Natlan update coming up. And of course, Star Rail is always pumping out so many new characters per patch, right? There's always those things. And again, you know where to catch me, you know where to find me, whether it's streaming or videos or cozy games and all that. Yeah, I'm out of stuff to say. So have a good rest of your day or rest of your evening or afternoon whenever you're watching this. And I'm going to see you all soon. Take care.